Today on Investigate TV Plus, a daily rush for required rest leaves many searching for a safe spot.
No matter where you go, you're fighting for parking.
Our investigation reveals the costly and potentially deadly downside to a lack of big rig parking.
Plus, a common toy can pose a big threat to little ones.
I don't understand it, but there's like a big ball inside of him, like something he couldn't have swallowed.
We sit down with parents and doctors to talk about the signs and solutions to protect children.
We've seen it where it should just be banned.
And an Uber driver takes a cruise down memory lane with a mission to brighten every passenger's day.
I want people to feel like they're riding with a friend.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Trucks move 2/3 of the nation's freight, but a parking problem is having a costly impact on supply chains, driver health, and highway safety. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. According to the American Trucking Associations, nearly every driver says they regularly have issues finding a safe parking spot. And shortages exist across the country, forcing a majority of drivers to break federal rules that require rest.
The ATA says truck drivers typically spend 56 minutes of valuable drive time a day looking for available parking, and that time costs the average driver about $5,500 in lost annual compensation, or a 12% pay cut.
When a designated truck spot isn't available, some drivers park on the shoulder of ramps and highways. And while the risks are known, finding a solution may not be as clear.
Investigative reporter Susan L. Corey has an in-depth look at how the rules vary by state and what's being done to curb the problem.
When the sun sets, there's a shift in speed on interstates.
It's a disaster.
As truck drivers race to find parking.
There's no telling if there's going to be parking available.
Without enough spots, they're making their own on ramps. Some stopping where signs clearly say they can't.
I mean, it's really dangerous.
Others creating lines so long they extend onto the highway.
But there is no parking.
But stopping here can be risky.
911, where's your emergency?
A Greyhound bus just lost the wheel and went right into my trailer.
July 12th, 2023.
We have a lot of people that are dead.
A Greyhound bus went off the road at the I-70 Silver Lake rest stop in Highland, Illinois.
There are very many people in the vehicle that are injured. Some got out, some are still getting out.
Colliding with semis parked along the shoulder.
Some can't get out in their truck.
14 people were injured.
Man, it's bad. It's bad.
3 died.
I woke up, sliding through the aisle. I seen a body hanging out the window.
While the danger is clear, parking problems aren't slowing down. The latest numbers from the federal government estimates in 2020 there were 30,000 crashes involving trucks on the shoulder or roadside. Of those, 457 were deadly. We hit the road to see how often it's happening in the St. Louis region. We spent hours on the interstate from nightfall to early morning. It didn't take long to see dozens of trucks forming lines on ramps.
It was off the road enough to take a break here.
And stopping where they know it's illegal.
Just wanted to know about why you stopped on the shoulder.
Oh, that's all right. Because I seen the other trucks, so that usually means there ain't no parking on the rest areas.
Drivers we asked don't see an easy solution.
No matter where you go, you're fighting for parking.
Terry McFadden has spent 10 years traveling across the country.
I mean, I got here and I had to play the make your own parking game. Fortunately, I stayed up until this spot cleared out.
Federal law requires truckers to take breaks. Starting in 2017, big rigs had to install electronic logs, which sends their times directly to the U.S. Department of Transportation.
You're out of hours. It's either take the guaranteed spot back on the ramp or roll through, find that there isn't any parking, and then how far do you got to go to find parking again?
State laws on parking vary. In Illinois, it's illegal to park overnight on highway shoulders. But in other states, it's legal, including in Missouri.
As long as you're off of the main traveled portion of the roadway, you can stop on the shoulder of the roadway.
Corporal Dallas Thompson with Missouri State Highway Patrol says they're seeing more trucks on the road, and with it, more making their own parking spots.
Is it a safety concern?
Well, absolutely. We're always worried about the safety aspect of it, but as long as they're staying in compliance with the law, there's not a whole lot we can do to change anything right now.
Parking is so scarce, the trucking industry estimates there's one spot for every 11 truckers. Illinois Congressman Mike Bust thinks he has the solution.
It's vitally important that we do move this bill.
He proposed a bipartisan bill to dedicate $755 million for states to expand rest stops or build new ones.
If your bill does pass, how long would it take to get enough spots?
Oh my goodness. Well, we get it passed, we're still talking 15 years.
What do we do for safety in the time being?
Yeah, it's up to the individual drivers to try to be as safe as they possibly can. Try to work with law enforcement. It is urgent, but trying to wake the people up to it and get this bill across the finish line. There's other things that are pending here and other people are focusing on other things, but we can do both chew gum and walk, and we should be able to move this.
Our cameras captured this months later in the same area as the I-70 rest stop where the deadly Greyhound crash happened. Semis cover both sides of the ramp and back onto the highway.
I personally don't park on ramps, on and off ramps ever, but I understand why guys do. What's he supposed to do? What else can he do?
We looked into how often enforcement is happening in Illinois, where parking on the shoulders of ramps and highways is illegal. In the first 6 months of 2023, state police issued a combined 21 citations and warnings. We asked the state police director about this. His office said they will not comment while the Greyhound bus crash is under investigation. A spokesperson did tell us their system makes it difficult to track enforcement, which is why they gave us limited data. Still, some say writing tickets is not the solution because truck drivers pick between illegally parking or breaking the law by staying on the road when they're supposed to be resting.
You want to be safe, but we have two laws that are clashing right now, which I think makes it worse.
We did talk to some truck drivers who say the companies they work for are creating their own rules. They're being told to cut their day short to ensure they find a safe spot. In St. Louis, I'm Susan L. Corey.
Another concern from truckers, not being able to park in way stations that are closed.
Illinois and Missouri don't allow it, but some states have tried it, including Virginia, at a way station off I-81. In less than a year, the DMV banned overnight parking there due to an increase in littering and vandalism.
Still to come, retaining talent amidst a nationwide shortage.
I don't know if I would be back in the classroom.
Why a need for teachers forced some schools to focus on families.
Our teachers need more support in order to do the work that they love and that they're so talented at doing.
But first, what started as a medical mystery.
It was so miserable to see him just so severely ill and no answers.
Turned out to be linked to a tiny toy.
Then it clicked that we had water beads in our home.
Next, a mother's plea for action before another child pays the price.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes.
You've probably seen them on social media or even have them in your home. Water beads, a tiny ball made out of super absorbent polymer material.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says they're often sold as toys and craft kits or used as sensory tools for children with developmental disabilities. But when exposed to water, the tiny balls, which start as small as a pinhead, can grow 100 times their original size. And that can pose as a dangerous, even deadly threat to young kids.
A mother in Phoenix nearly lost her 9-month-old because he swallowed the toy.
Reporter Susan Campbell explains why it took days to figure out what was actually going on inside the young boy.
Jonah was just 9 months old when he got really sick.
He was just projectile vomiting in a way I've never seen.
His mom, McKaylee Brown, took him to the hospital.
In the emergency room, they're like, we're seeing babies that are dehydrated all the time. Take some anti-nausea and some Gatorade and you're good.
But he wasn't. McKaylee's intuition told her this wasn't a virus.
It was so miserable to see him just so severely ill and no answers.
The diagnosis took days. A CT scan finally solved the mystery.
The surgeon was wonderful, and he came in and he's like, I don't understand it, but there's like a big ball inside of him, like something he couldn't have swallowed. And then it clicked that like we had water beads in our home.
Water beads like this. They're really tiny, but grow when they're in water. McKaylee had purchased the toy for her older child.
We played with them in our house one time, and they spilt, and we cleaned them all out, so we thought, and I think one just must have been stuck in like a carpet fiber that he found.
That single water bead ballooned inside Jonah's intestine. He was rushed into surgery to have it removed.
Kids have died because of these.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says there were an estimated 7,800 visits to the ER because of water bead injuries between 2016 and 2022.
If it goes down in your airway or your trachea or the back of your throat, it could swell up and close off your airway or block your breathing. Or if it goes down your GI tract and goes into your esophagus, stomach, and intestines, it can keep expanding, and some of these can get to the size of a tennis ball or a racquetball, and it'll cause a complete bowel obstruction.
Now New Jersey Congressman Frank Pallone is proposing a ban on water beads that are marketed for kids.
Do you think a ban is a step in the right direction?
Absolutely, I think it is. And I think there's enough evidence out there. There's enough clinical reports through different children's hospitals and whatnot. Our experience here, we've seen it, where it should just be banned.
McKaylee wants a ban too.
There's a group of us who have all had traumatic experiences, but then there's one mom who just doesn't have her daughter, and I've listened to her share her story many times. And we're so lucky we're not in that situation, but it just doesn't feel fair that she's not here too.
In 2023, the CPSC issued a safety alert urging parents and caregivers to remove the product from any environment with children under the age of 3. They also suggest daycare, schools, and camps avoid water beads entirely. If you have a dangerous experience with water beads, you can report it at saferproducts.gov.
In December 2023, Amazon, Target, and Walmart voluntarily stopped selling their water beads following those calls for a ban on the popular toy.
There have also been recalls for some water bead products, but you can still find dozens of different options to buy online. In fact, our investigations have found recalled or banned products have a way of making it into your home despite specific laws that have been put into place because people have been seriously hurt or killed. Federal agents say imports and third-party sellers play a role.
We've seen things online by a seller that we know have killed a child before. We have flagged it for the platform, and then a week later we see the same listing under a slightly different name on the platform. And again, we tell the platform that they take it down, but that game of whack-a-mole has to stop.
There is a small agency in charge of stopping these products before they reach you. We have a behind-the-scenes look at how they do it, plus ways you can check to see if any products in your home are under a recall. Just head to InvestigateTV.com and search defective.
Still to come, an Uber driver isn't just sharing rides, but also joy.
I want to entertain them. I want to show them something that they've never seen.
How he's used some of his favorite trips to inspire future passengers.
And the third thing is, I want them to have fun.
But first, schools step up their support for teachers.
It's when you take care of the whole person, that's when they stick around because they feel seen and cared for.
We have an in-depth look at how different approaches have paid off.
Part of being a parent includes the balancing act between work and childcare, but more often than not, one probably interferes with the other.
Yeah, definitely happens a lot. Yeah, Ready Nation, a nonprofit that advocates for investments in children and families in the U.S., found in 2022 nearly 1 in 4 parents reported being fired from their jobs due to a breakdown of childcare for their kids. But instead of punishing parents, several charter schools in Nashville, Tennessee, are offering help.
Reporter Tracy Cornett shows us the positive impact it's having for teachers and their classrooms.
I love you so much.
Like many parents, Hannah Rice gives a final hug before dropping off her daughter Eloise at daycare. Unlike many parents, her workplace is just yards away.
That's definitely relieved a lot of the stress of being a working parent.
Hannah teaches 5th grade math at STEM Prep Academy in Nashville. Last year, the school opened Little Wonders Early Learning Center on the school campus. Teachers get priority for admission and reduced tuition.
I don't know if I would be back in the classroom if it wasn't for the daycare at Little Wonders.
In the face of a nationwide teacher shortage, schools like STEM Prep say keeping teachers means also addressing outside issues, like the childcare crisis in Davidson County.
Our teachers need more support in order to do the work that they love and that they're so talented at doing, which is serving students.
You'll hear that same motivating idea from Intrepid Academy, another Davidson County charter school.
It's when you take care of the whole person, that's when they stick around because they feel seen and cared for.
At Intrepid, that meant providing a child care stipend and expanding paid family leave to 18 weeks. The extra time, something new mom and 8th grade teacher Amber Howard says is invaluable.
I feel incredibly grateful to be where we are and know that the people at my school are going to work with me in this huge life transition.
While the schools tackle the issue in different ways, the goal is the same.
We want to create a place where people feel like they can do this job and do this job for a long time.
And teachers say knowing their family is well cared for helps them better care for students. According to a study by the RAND Corporation, a research institute, teachers who left the profession due to the COVID-19 pandemic ranked child care responsibilities as one of the top reasons for leaving, and nearly a fourth of teachers under the age of 40 cited child care as the main reason.
Would you like me to take you a trip around the world?
Yes.
With trivia games and interesting tales, a mobile museum takes passengers on a trip around the world.
We have Dominican Republic over here. We have over here Myanmar, which used to be Burma.
Up next, how you can join this journey.
Most of us have stories about an interesting trip in an Uber.
Some have free water and snacks or fun lights and an iPad with games. But in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, there's a driver with unforgettable gifts on display.
Reporter Lauren Korn hopped into the back seat to show us how he's celebrating his passengers one ride at a time.
Jeff Honing loves being an Uber driver.
There's nothing better to have people get out of the car laughing and saying, "This is the best ride I've ever had." Hi, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you? It's been his goal after retiring from the courier service and joining the company in 2018.
I want to entertain them. I want to show them something that they've never seen. And the third thing is, I want them to have fun.
From games.
Like I do a trivia question. How many countries are in the world? Do you know how many countries there are? You want to take a guess?
No.
Okay.
To sharing fascinating stories about past riders.
I call her my friend who works for the Kansas City Chiefs. She said to me, if you promise not to mug me, I can show you something. And she pulled out her Super Bowl ring, and I got to put it on my finger, and this is a blown up picture here.
His ride is certainly a unique experience, and so is his car.
George? Yes. Welcome to my museum.
Jeff, also known as the Sunshine Man, started his museum with posting a positive message and placing a couple of sports hats on the dashboard as a conversation starter.
I have my Giants, Yankee, and Knick hats, and so that would get attention, especially from people from the New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts.
His passengers quickly helped it grow with their own stories to tell through newspaper clippings, pictures, and money.
Would you like me to take you a trip around the world?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeff rattled off the 40 bills from 38 countries that cover the interior.
We have Dominican Republic over here. We have over here Myanmar, which used to be Burma.
His favorites are hanging front and center.
The first one, And the last one I got was from South Africa with Nelson Mandela on the front there. I want people to see not only how different the money is, but I want to show them how different it is to say thank you.
Between the memorabilia and memorable conversations, it inspired Jeff to create 2 blogs and write this book, Driving on the Sunny Side with 10,000 Strangers, a compilation of motivational quotes, funny moments, and his top 50 rides.
The book is really dedicated to people I've driven, even if they're not in the book. Some of them have made my day, and some of them are unforgettable.
He also gifts passengers during the holidays a sheet of his favorite quotes from riders.
I want people to feel like they're riding with a friend.
And hopes the theme of his book and his candid conversations will do just that.
Wherever you are, whether it's in an Uber or a Lyft or whether you're in a grocery store, you have the power to change people's day.
All right, did you notice between the front seats, he's not traveling alone? We kept commenting it when we were watching the story. Well, we got the story of what that means from Lauren.
Yeah, the mannequin head is named Lily, and it's from one of his passengers who owns a salon and coffee shop in Kansas. She wanted him to have it for his car museum. What a funny story, and all the money and just the sunshine and things you could learn from there.
I mean, it's definitely a conversation starter. You get in that Uber, you're going to ask a question about something in there, and that mannequin's staring at you the whole time, too.
Maybe we can go for a ride with him one day. Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, rethinking the grading scale.
This goal of being more equitable is trying to find grading that is repeatable, bias-resistant, and accurate to what the students know.
An in-depth look at what some say is a better way to evaluate learning, but others question if it allows students to skate by.